Hi, today we're going to learn the basics of Microsoft Excel. We'll go over the uses of it, how to navigate the program, create documents, and customize documents. So, Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program that's developed by Microsoft. It has calculation and graphing tools and many different types of workbooks and tables that you can use to customize your documents. So, let's open up Excel. I'm going to go to my start bar here. I'm going to type in Excel. So when you open Excel, you're going to see a screen much like this one. It's going to have different kinds of templates or workbooks that you can use. Some are already geared towards different things like sales invoices, schedules, calendars, stuff like that. We're going to do a blank workbook today. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to name this file so we have it, so we can tell it apart from other files. We're just going to do save as. We're going to save it to this PC. And we're going to name this Excel 1. And we'll just put it in my desktop. Excel 1, save it. There we go. We got it in desktop. You can save it wherever you would like, just as long as you know where it's at and you can tell it apart. Named it Excel 1 because this is our first workbook today, so that's where we're going with that. So now we're going to enter our data. So we're going to create, we're just going to create a simple warehouse inventory. Say it's a warehouse for a hardware store. So we're going to do a hardware store warehouse inventory table. Spelled it wrong. Warehouse inventory. We're going to do January through April 2017. Alright, so there's our little title for our table. And we're going to insert a table now. So you go to insert, click table, and we're going to do, let's cancel that because I clicked on the wrong one. Let's do A2 all the way to F7. We're going to do F7. That should be a good sized table. My table does have headers. Okay, here we go. So, first column here, we're going to name that one items. Let's do January, February, March, April, and then this one's going to be our totals. So that's going to be our totals for all our inventory. So we're going to do nuts and bolts, hammers, electric screwdrivers. So I'm just making up all this stuff from my imagination. If you want to do your table on another type of inventory, that's fine. Barbie dolls or toys or something silly. Doesn't really matter, just as long as you get your data in there. So you can see that these, like electric screwdrivers here and these other two nuts and bolts and grinding discs, are overlapping kind of their cells. That's what you call this little box here. It's called a cell. We're going to want to resize that. So you can just double click and it'll automatically resize it to the length that you need. So there we go. Look at automatic, just like that. Slick, huh? Alright, so now we're going to put in just our numbers or number data for all our. So let's say in January we had 145 nuts and bolts laying around the warehouse here. You can just make up some numbers that are relatively reasonable. Okay, February we got 123, 10, 42, 12, 65, 13, 20, 56, 8, 88, 22, 17, 23, 22. All right, so we got all our data in. We got B3 through E7. So now we're going to use a function. That's what they call it, a function, kind of a mathematical function, to figure out our totals. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click the function button, and we're going to do a sum, because it's going to be the sum of these four numbers that are going to add to our total. So we're going to do B3 to E3. So look at that, it's already all added up for us. And when we press OK here, it's automatically going to update it's automatically going to update our whole totals column here. So watch that. It's going to be pretty slick. Look at that. There we go. Does it right away for us. That's what's pretty cool about Excel. It lets you, or it does a lot of this stuff for you when you insert formatting. It'll just put it right in there and fill in for you. That's what's nice about it. So here we can do a few more functions here. The functions are a really useful part of Excel. So we'll go down here and we're just gonna we'll do another sum function. So we can just type in our equals here and go sum. Let's do C3 to C6. Easy enough. Close that up. Enter. We got 175 from C3 to C6. So 100 plus 23 plus 10 plus 42 is 175. So it does the math right away for you. And we're just going to label that right away. So we're going to go sum C3 C6, so we know. So now we're going to do an average. Average is also a pretty cool thing. And if you are looking for what types of functions Excel supports, you can just click the function button here and you can scroll it through here. So we're going to do an average. And let's do the whole table, except totals. We're going to not do the totals here because we don't really care about the average, including the totals. We want to do B3, so that's the top left corner, all the way to E7. Alright. So 37.5 is our average from B3 to E7. So let's label that here. So we got average, and we got B3. Let's shorten that up a little bit so it's easier. Average B3 to E7. And there we got 37.5. If we want to highlight that, make it a different color so it's a little bit easier to read. That looks pretty good. Kind of stands out a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a chart of our table with all the data from our table. Charts are a really good visual aid. They kind of make seeing everything a little bit easier. So we're going to highlight our whole table here, and we're going to go to insert, and we're going to make a bar chart because I like bar charts. They're my favorite. So here, let's do 3D. I like the 3D one. So let's do a 3D bar chart. We're going to name it right away. Okay, warehouse inventory January through April 2017. Okay, we're going to move this to a nice spot. Oop, don't want to move that. Move that right there. Move this back here. Nice spot for the title. So as you can see here, we got our nuts and bolts, all our inventory items here with the amounts. The chart makes it really easy to see all that information. You can change the style of the chart here and the themes. Ooh, I like that one. That one looks good. We'll go with that one. And you can edit the lines on your chart and other information over here. We won't worry about that right now though. So now that we've done that, that's a pretty good basic 30,000 foot view of what we got going on here in Microsoft Excel. As you can see, you know, we did our warehouse inventory, our table here. We did a few functions, and then we did our chart that brings kind of everything together, and it's a good visual aid. So that's our first Excel lesson here. We'll finish that up for today, and thanks for watching.